You're with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez on Tuesday, the 7th of October, 2025. If Ebrima, Sillah, or any government minister for that matter, Dr. Cisse included, don't want me to go to a long commercial break when they are on, they should look for millions like they did, for other institutions. And also, don't laugh.
No, well, I'm missing Sankari.
Thanks.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
So we've done transport, we've done works.
Yeah.
What about infrastructure? What infrastructure projects are on the way to bridge the rural-urban divide and improve access in remote communities?
Well, thank you very much, Peter. I think by all standards, even though we need to do more, I think this government has really championed a very innovative cause to focus on rural infrastructure, while at the same time ensure that there is no urban neglect, in the march towards modernizing the Gambia into what we call a city-state. We have almost nearly achieved that, because from Barra going all the way to Pasamas to the very end, at least that road is done. Then you can go through the Woolies and then connect through Basse in the Cantoras and then come through Basse and then back to Brikama and then to Banjul. On either side of the North Bank roads, we have at least very good first-class facilities that, we can say that easily now connect the either ends of the river. And then we also have connecting roads, a lot of them also in the rural areas. In many of these places where since independence they've never had an infrastructure of that magnitude. And innovatively, what we are also doing is that wherever we have this rural infrastructure, we try as much as possible to appeal to the Gambia Transport Corporation to have both services connecting these rural communities. And happily now we can say that from Basse going through Kantora to the Woolies, there is a rapid regular bus service. And then from Pasamas coming through Lamenkoto, then Lamenkoto coming all the way to Farafenye, and then from Farafenye to Barra we also have regular bus service. Then on the other side also, and then from Farafenye border going towards Senoba, in the Jaras, we also have regular transport systems, buses, taxis and minibuses. What we need to improve on is urban mobility, and that is where our focus is right now. His Excellency the President has tasked us to do a forensic look into the urban transport mechanisms in terms of infrastructure, but also transmodal systems that can ease mass transportation efforts of the Gambian people. And that is why we've launched the Transport Master Plan study. But we are also doing this infrastructure study to look at those measures that we need to put in place. Currently, we are building about 365 kilometers of roads across the country, including some urban areas. But right now, we are going to launch, hopefully by next week, a call for proposal to do detailed feasibility studies and designs of 400 kilometers across the country, including rural areas, but more so in urban areas, to improve urban mobility, but also connecting the rural areas with the urban areas. We have also put in place a robust program in place for maintenance, because one of the biggest problems that we have in the country is that we are building roads, but we are not maintaining them.
You're answering a question I would have asked.
Yes, so
might as well just continue.
we have looked at this because the cost of constructing roads will be even more expensive if we are going to continue with this neglect of maintenance. So that is why we've now put in place a robust system where we are going to start, doing a comprehensive maintenance strategy to look at the entire urban road network that were built before, because we have seen that, for example, from Brusubi turntable going all the way to Tanje, then to Tujereng, up to Gunjur and Katong, the road shoulders have been eaten up badly, narrowing the road,
yes,
and huge potential for accidents. So we are preparing a maintenance strategy to look at those roads, and from Gunjur also coming all the way to Sifo, Kiti to Brikama, and from Brikama going all the way to Mandinaba, all the way to the border with Siliti also. We have looked at those ones, but even from Bakau Newtown going all the way through the Bakaus, and then Bakau Primary School up to where you used to have Maroon Supermarket. We have looked at those road conditions and then the need, but also the Banjul-Serekunda Highway. You can see that from the Denton Bridge going all the way to Wadna Beach, former Wadna Beach, a lot of depression. So we have done the costing of that. From Sukuta going all the way to Westfield also, in fact, we have started work on that one right now to do asphalt overlay of the dilapidated areas. And from, the where you have the Bakote Tipagaras, where they call Tipagaras, going all the way to Westfield, we have also seen some areas that we need to work on. But even on this road where
even before Tipagaras,
yes,
even before Tipagaras,
yes,
I mean,
yes.
From Safidin,
yes,
because
yes.
that's my route.
Exactly. So I mean, from that area going all the way to Westfield, I mean, our attention has been drawn to that. Then also from the Westfield on either side of the Banjul-Serekunda Highway, the access road, where you can access Red Cross all the way to Jimpex, and then on the other side where you can access the Kanifim Magistrate Court going all the way to KMC Municipal Office, then all the way to Jimpex intersection to the cemetery. We have looked at those conditions, and then we are preparing a maintenance strategy for them. This is important because we will never have ease of traffic, but even also from Westfield going all the way to Tabokoto. We have done some major work in the Churchillstown, but that is not enough. We have to go all the way to the end, because you will not have traffic flow effectively and efficiently when we don't do this major maintenance. The good thing is that we have already engaged the Islamic Development Bank, and they have already started the recruitment for a consultancy, and I think very soon we will start the studies to do a feasibility studies for us from the airport junction going all the way to Block to make it a dual carriage. Hopefully before the end of the year or early 2026, this study would be ready, and then the funding will be mobilized to start work, because it's critical for two things. One, we have more than 300,000 people living in Brikama alone. And if you add the Busumbalas, the Yundums, the other areas within the West Coast region, is almost 400,000. And many of these people are using that main route to access the Serakundas and also Banjul. Now, you added to this problem is the fact that now we have nearly 5,000 to 10,000 students going in and out of the University of the Gambia. The congestion is huge. And that is why sometimes people complain about lack of buses to pick students in the evening. It is not because the buses are not available, but the time it takes for one bus to make a round trip is so time consuming that if you make one trip before you come back in this peak period, it's already too late.
If our roads were wide enough,
yes,
you could cater for bus lanes.
Exactly. So that is why this time we are doing this study to cater for this anomaly, and to permanently, well, not permanently because these problems will be there, but to address some of these challenges that we have on our roads.
And what about digital infrastructure, expanding them to maybe areas that are currently underserved? Because very often, you know, I hear people tell me, you know, I'm a teacher. When I was in the Greater Banjul area, I had no problem accessing the radio, both on FM and online. But I've now posted to, location X, and even to get you online is a problem, because here accessing the internet is a problem.
Well, that is true. I mean, you asked a very important question, because I was also Digital Affairs Minister for almost 4 years. And I can tell you that we have put in place some very strong pragmatic policies to reduce the digital divide. We even put in place a policy to directly, impact positively, for that matter, on the rural areas, where if you have, as a telecoms operator, an intention to invest in rural areas, taxes or whatever will be reduced on you, just to reduce the digital divide. But luckily now we have the likes of Comium that are expanding deep in the rural areas. And, thankfully, I was in many remote areas, recently, and I was able to get the QCell network. I think, for voice, QCell has gone too deep into the rural areas. AfriCell also. I mean, so hopefully, with the level of investment that we are seeing right now, that will help a lot. And this is also critical for us in our road infrastructure planning, because our agenda is to have cutting-edge technologies deployed on our roads, to look at the behavior of drivers on our roads, to also do traffic count on our roads, and also to ensure that road networks are properly monitored for maintenance and also careful planning. So if this digital expansion is realized, it will help not only the digital ministry and those within the ecosystem there, but also us, because the type of cutting-edge technologies that we want to deploy, especially street cameras, this is very effective for us to ensure that we monitor what is happening on our roads, we monitor the behavior of the drivers, but we also do traffic,
Yes, and general security.
Yeah, general security.
And moving on, what about closing the gap in terms of expanding infrastructure to bring clean water and sanitation supply to rural areas?
Well, I think the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources is doing a phenomenal job in that area, because I think they have earmarked about 40-something plus or so. I don't have this in my head, but a lot of boreholes. These are huge, boreholes that are meant for different communities. Also, we have seen an expansion of philanthropic initiative in many rural areas where people are providing, solar-powered borehole facilities. The good thing is, even our projects, we have a lot of corporate social activities within our projects. For example, Cornerstone, which is one of the local contractors, they have made this, a priority, that wherever they are in terms of road construction in rural areas, they provide facilities to the adjacent villages and communities. And this is really highly commendable. But that notwithstanding, we have also seen the government coming in to expand rural water connectivity and rural water network facilities. So this is something that I think the government will continue to do. We have a lot to do, though, because this is more than 50 years of development initiative that we are talking about here. And it will not be that within 10 years almost everybody will have these facilities, but we can say that at least a greater majority of our communities can have clean, safe drinking water within our time.
And I should acknowledge the fact that occasionally listeners and viewers will, pick up a beeping sound in the background. That is because, halfway through this interview, as if by design, NAWEC decided to, interrupt the electricity supply, and now we are on backup generator, and something is not right with the UPS in the system. So in terms of expanding Rural electrification, what can you tell us? How soon can remote communities expect reliable power?
Commendably so, for that matter, the Ministry of Energy and the institution that is responsible for the electrification of the country, NAWEC, I think have done a phenomenal job. From 2017 to date, I think we have expanded.
That's the borough administration.
Yes, we have expanded on not only rural electrification but electricity supply from its former current state of probably 40% to now almost 80-something%.
And the aim is to reach 90% by the end of this year.
Yes, the aim is to reach hopefully 90% or more, and then by 2026, even if we don't have
100%.
Yes, universal may not necessarily be 100%, but at least a greater part of your country, almost everywhere you can have electricity, not necessarily in every household, because that may depend on income levels or affordability.
True.
Now, that is why the government has come up with an initiative to work with partners to subvent the cost of meters. In some areas they are given free, in some areas they pay $500 in the rural areas, because the cost and the burden of that is really lessened on the people. Now, that alone may not be enough, and that is why government has now decided as a deliberate policy to have a radical relook into the way we generate electricity, because for far too long we have been relying on generators to provide us
fossil
fuel generators. But now we are going hybrid or green, where our bulk of generation capacity will come from green renewable sources of energy, and that are also cheaper. The hope is that by the time we achieve our goals, the cost of electricity on the average Gambian will be much lower, because we would have been relying on fuel efficient or renewable energy.
Ebrima Sillah with us, and now we come to your questions.
Yeah.
You tempted Madi to
Citizen Madi.
So we will start with Madi.
He never disappoints me.
No, he doesn't disappoint me either. Pocha, he says, good morning. About the issue of persons with disabilities, I wish to remind the minister that there exists already the Persons with Disabilities Act 2021, which requires that his ministry address the issue of access in terms of buildings and commercial vehicles for persons with disabilities. Therefore, he needs to go to that law to implement accordingly. So why aren't you going to that
As
law?
oblige. Tell him I oblige.
All right.
No, but Peter, more seriously, that is true. The access to buildings, I think, in most public places now has been addressed. Although the stairs are a problem.
Ministry of Fisheries.
Yes. The stairs are a problem.
I hope Minister Drame is listening.
Yes. In most cases, what is required is, if the stairs are not friendly to the persons with disabilities, what is required is to put lifts, so that that can be lesser of a burden. And I think these issues need to be looked at. I know the Ministry of Gender has been at the forefront, both at cabinet level and also at national level, to promote these things. And I think a lot of designs now are really, getting to those things now. They are responding to those.
Just when I'm about to read questions, I'm beginning to choke.
Maybe my spirit is telling you not to read that
Well,
question.
please ask Minister Sillah why the Jaliba Junction Road under construction is delayed. It's less than 6 kilometers, yet it has taken almost a year and a half.
That's true.
So why?
Well, it's delayed for several reasons, because I don't have to come here and lie. We have problems with the contractor that I have to say regrettably is not performing to our expectations. And we also have, at the beginning, we had some, delays to disburse some funds that were required for the contractor to be fully mobilized to be able to deliver. But now those issues are behind us. What we have done is to instruct the NRA, the National Road Authority, to take control over this project and ensure that it is implemented as quickly as possible. Hopefully before December that project will be finished.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Could you ask the Honorable Minister about the state of two roads, Choya Nyamina Dankunku Road and Brufut Madiana Road?
Yes. Brufut Madiana Road, we have recently paid the contractor of what we owed him, and we hope that when the rain subsides, we will see him fully mobilized on that road, because it's a few sections that is left actually to complete that road, and we are putting pressure because His Excellency the President actually wants to inaugurate that road in December. So we are on our toes on that particular one. The Choya one is part of the 400 kilometers of roads that we are going to do the studies. Hopefully, as I said, the studies, the public tender advertisements will be out very soon, hopefully by next week, and then detailed studies and designs will be done, and then hopefully we will launch the tender by end of December or early January to have the procurement for the contractors to start that work. And I have to say that because I don't want this contract to start and we have all this noise coming all over from our usual suspects. Yeah? I mean, this is going to be like a pre-finance project where we will have some of the contractors come in with the capacity and their funds to pre-finance some of these projects. Yeah.
Why are the coastal road, the road from Tabokoto to Abuko and Banjulunding,
yes,
around former VP's residence, and the one to the highway from Abuko to the GNPC, all abandoned for over almost a year now without any activity?
Well, I don't know whether it's accurate to say abandoned.
Well, he goes on. The small portions done on the coastal road are very substandard and without drainage. Also, the small portion done at Churchillstown main junction is peeling off in less than a month. Why? Substandard road works all over again. Why?
Well, I just have to say that, for example, the coastal road that he said, because this is the road that goes through from Coastal Road going into Welengara to Sunchu, going all the way to Cow Johnson. Works are ongoing. I mean, it's an incomplete road. You cannot put drainage structures there right now because we've not reached that stage. But I can tell him that any substandard work that is on that road will be redone, because we went there actually with even the president, and when we dropped on the road and then we started working, we also realized that probably the concrete mixing had some issues. So now, in addition to the concrete road, they are also putting thick asphalt on that to mitigate that problem that he mentioned. As per the Churchillstown, I don't know, I mean, I did not drive on that road yet because when the work was going on, it was raining, and it was done as part of our maintenance work. And at that night, the road was done, and by the time the people come in the morning, the road was open for usage. That is normal for road maintenance. However, if it is true that certain areas are peeling off, then NRA will be alive to this, and then they have to go there and refix it. It's part of the maintenance.
The sooner the better.
Yes. I'll go there most likely tomorrow if we don't have cabinet to go and see myself.
Cabinet is on Thursdays, isn't it?
No, well, sometimes we do have Wednesday and Thursday when we have many papers. So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. What is holding Banyaka Road to completion? It's years now, he says.
No, Banyakang is part of the 365 kilometers of roads that we are currently doing. The contractor is on that particular road. They started the road bed. They've also started the major work, and they've gone almost to 1.5 kilometers. The road is about 5 or 6 kilometers all the way to Banyakang. So hopefully by the end of the rains, we will see the contractor mobilize again to start with grubbing and then the major works on the road. So I mean, hopefully very soon you'll see the contractors mobilizing all these areas.